Ooh, welcome to That's Good Sports Podcast. I'm Brandon Perna, joined by Will Keys in Sacramento, California.
Funny you mentioned that because I know everybody wants us to talk about the big news that happened yesterday, so I might as well get to it right now. The Sacramento Kings are 5-3 after beating the Orlando Magic last night. So,
ooh, hot take. Sacramento
Playoffs?
Kings are 5-3. Hot take.
Playoffs? Probably not, but
No, it's just their record is the hot take, Will.
just the fact.
5-3.
Yep.
Hot take. This is a podcast about football, if you're new here. We're going to talk about the Denver Broncos for half of the podcast and then the NFL for the second half. Will Keys got a very nice Denver Broncos shirt on. If you're listening on YouTube, then that makes sense that there's video. If not, you can download this like a real podcast, iTunes, Podbean, and give us a rating in iTunes. I think we finally got over 100 ratings in iTunes, Will. So
No, that's nice. That's nice to people.
I thought it was going to bring us more success, but it didn't.
100 one-star ratings? Or
No, we got them 5 stars. We got those 5 stars.
Oh, okay.
I thought that would happen, and then I thought iTunes was supposed to call me and
a plaque.
Yeah, I wanted a plaque, and they were supposed to give me a check, and I haven't gotten either one of those things.
Yeah, one of those like hilariously oversized novelty checks.
Yeah, or a miniature check. Like, it just can't be regular sized.
Nope. I'd like this big, like
Tiny.
the size of the world's smallest violin.
Like, it's the size of an actual check mark.
Yeah, no, I think we're getting our tropes mixed up here, but yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot of trade news. We've got trade news, NFL trade news, Broncos trade news. We'll preview Broncos and Texans, and then all of the games. And if we decide to do something else, we'll fucking do it during the podcast. This is how we freeform. We freeform. After years of taking improv classes, Will and I finally got together, and we are putting our skills. We are testing our skills.
Yeah, I mean, the first lesson that they teach you in improv is always respond to everything with no. So,
Yep. So
I just like to say, nope, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah,
Not going to happen.
I actually have a good story about I'm a little laggy here. So when I lived in Los Angeles, there was this like new sports company, like where it was some app. I forget what the fuck it was called, but I don't know. They wanted to do a show, and you logged in, and people like who had the app like could video conference in to do like a conversation about the sports or something. And they wanted to try me out as a host. This was like after the first season of That's Good Sports. So I really didn't know what I was doing, but they brought me in like to host, and it was like me, and they had this girl that was going to host, and they wanted to like see if we worked well together. And she set up something like that I thought was stupid, and I said no. Like I was just like the anti-improv rule where you're supposed to say yes. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that, because I forget what it was. I can't remember, but it was stupid. And then like the take ended. She's like, don't you go by like the rules of improv? Like you just say yes and kind of go with it. And I was like, oh, I would do that. I didn't say this, but I was like, but you were trying to do something that was going to make us both look stupid. So I said, I'm not going down this road. And
yeah, I mean, there's a point where you just can't like say yes to everything. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be hilarious if you just like sat down and drank a whole bottle of bleach in this sketch?
Yeah, just do it. Just kill yourself.
Just say yes. Yeah, it'd be hilarious.
Hey, puppet boy, kill yourself for entertainment.
Dance, monkey.
And all I knew what happened was they paid me the $75 for the hour of time I gave them and never called me back. So I don't think I got the gig, Will. And I wish I remember the name of the app so I could see if they're still around.
You're going to get a call like right after this show and be like, hey,
we've been waiting to call you back. And after you trashed us, even though you didn't mention us by name, you are done. You are so done.
You're dead. You'll never work in this town again, pal.
Yeah, it's like they're like, just do like what you do on your show. If you want to like take your shirt off and like run around, do that. Like, I think I did that like maybe in one episode. And that's like the go-to. Just take your shirt off.
Yeah,
take your shirt off. It's hilarious. Your body is
different time.
funny.
It was a time when you were allowed to take your shirt off with a female co-host, and obviously now that's not allowed. It's too bad.
The world's changing.
For the better, some would say.
Where'd you get that? That is a cool Denver Broncos shirt.
I actually got this in Colorado.
Sick.
I think I got it just like at some random team store in Denver.
You know what I don't get is like there was this vest that kind of looked like your shirt you're wearing right now at the NFL store, and it was like a old school vest, same colors, like the cool blue and orange. I was like, fuck, I'll buy that because I was looking for something to put up for a Patreon giveaway. I can't do that anymore. Apparently that's illegal. But I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this vest. And I clicked on it, and they're like, only 3 left, and none are in your size. And it was at the official NFL store. Like, why are they making a limited number of those things? It's the NFL. They should have – like, you just missed out on a ton of sales by making it limited.
Yeah, they should have a warehouse full of vests.
No shit.
For all teams.
Like, you can say limited supply and get people to go there and then just, have an infinite supply because it's the NFL official licensed fucking place. But I was pissed. And I don't like to buy stuff from the NFL anyway because I don't want to give them their money. But they lost my sale is the point.
That's too bad. I considered being a vest guy once. It just didn't work out. It just didn't. I just couldn't keep it up. It's just too much work. It's like you strap it on, and then like if you're taking it off, like if you're sitting down and you like hang it on the back of the chair, and then you have to put it back on. You have to like fit your arms like through the vest armholes. It's just the whole thing. I don't like it.
It's significantly easier to put on than a jacket, Will.
Yeah, but everybody puts on a jacket. You just look like a fucking tool when you're putting on a vest.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Anyway, I think that's all the vest talk for today.
Yeah. Do you want to get into this DT shit or what?
Yep. So
is that where we're starting?
I think so. If you haven't heard yet, he was traded yesterday to the Houston Texans for what turned out to be a 4th-round pick, and I guess they swapped 7th-rounders. So essentially just a 4th-round pick.
Yeah,
I don't really know what the point of swapping 7th-rounders is.
Right. When the teams are going to they're probably going to have like similar records. Maybe the Broncos have a shittier record, so it works out for that, like a much shittier record. But like the gall on the Texans to be like, no, we want a 7th-rounder swap in exchange as well. It's like, fuck
Doesn't
you.
make a whole lot of sense.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
we're giving you one of our greatest players of all time for a 4th, which is a decent deal because you're going to actually use him in your offense probably. So quit being a dick. That's how I would have handled the conversation. I'm preparing, like, if I'm going to be a GM one day. And you got to be tough. You got to be tough on those phone calls.
No, you have to. You have to be willing to hang up. I think I would have been like, we're giving you our 2nd-best receiver in franchise history. How about just be happy with a fucking 4th-rounder? Because the other team in Texas, the Dallas Cowboys, just gave up a 1st for Amari Cooper. So.
Right.
But clearly that didn't really affect the market too much.
Cooler.
Based on what we saw yesterday.
Right, yeah. Cooler first name, Amari or Demaryius?
I think Demaryius is more unique.
Okay.
Plus you've got the YI in Marius, and you just don't see that spelling anywhere.
No, you don't. But you know what I respect about that spelling is like the first time I learned it, I always knew how to spell it afterwards.
Yeah. No, it's like you just don't see – you just don't see 3 vowels in a row ever. And I know like that's a little controversial because Y is only sometimes a vowel, but in this circumstance, it is a vowel because it's not the Y sound, it's the I sound.
That's true.
The E sound. So yeah.
But it's like we talked about before, like I still have no fucking clue how to spell Garoppolo. Simeon was always tough. I had to double check that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Demaryius, once it was in there, it made sense. And I appreciated that basically maybe more than anything about Demaryius.
I've never been able to spell the word environment. I always switch between environment or environment. And I just never get it right. I'm pretty sure the spelling changes.
Yeah, it changes based on the just time of year and whether or not you're in daylight savings. So
correct.
It's confusing.
But yeah, so did you see the pictures today of Demaryius at Houston Texans practice wearing number 87 because 88 was taken?
Who's wearing 88?
Jordan Akins, who I think is a rookie. I don't know. He's some no-name for the Texans, but there's this rule now apparently that you can't swap numbers if the player with the number in question has played 30% or more of his snaps. And apparently Jordan Akins has played 30% of the snaps.
That's some dumb bullshit. I don't fucking
know who he is.
That is stupid.
Correct. It looks it just made me be like, no, let's just can we void this trade? Just bring him back.
Bring him
back. They're not treating him right. I don't like this. They need to give him his number at least.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's heartbreaking. 87. Who is he? Eric Decker? I don't think so.
That's Eric Decker. That's Eric Decker's number. Yeah. I don't like it.
Eric Decker was pretty good too, but he's no DT. You know what's crazy is do you think DT will be a good fit with Houston? Do you think they'll actually use him more than the Broncos?
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I thought Will Fuller was a better complement to DeAndre Hopkins because Hopkins was kind of like the guy who just made contested catches, and then Will Fuller stretched the field. And I don't know if Demaryius has the ability to, like, stretch the field like 30 yards plus anymore. I don't know if that's really what he does. So it kind of feels like you got DeAndre Hopkins and a guy who plays like DeAndre Hopkins now in his older age. Not that he's old, he's 30, but
yeah. Well, DeAndre Hopkins, like he can be anywhere on the field. That is like a guy who you want him to go deep, he'll beat you deep. You want him to run crossing routes, he'll beat you there. You want short, go slant routes. You want digs, hitches. I'm just trying to think of all the routes I can think of. And like he's a threat everywhere, right? So Fuller, basically all he could do was go deep. He had catching issues, but he's done with his knee. So I don't know. DT seems like he's at a point in his career, maybe like physically, where he's kind of like a tight end, just lined up wide all the time. So I feel like third down situations. I don't know why he's not used at the goal line more. I feel like that's where he could be really effective is, jump ball still. And then looking back like at this season, like week 1, he had that amazing end zone catch where Case Keenum threw it and he toe taps, the sideline in there. So I'm hoping they use him well. Because the Texans are in first place. I think they've won 5 in a row. Deshaun Watson looked great against the Miami Dolphins. I don't know what that really says, but he did have more touchdowns than incompletions, which is kind of a crazy stat.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
And they have a legit defense. So if they use DT, and I just hope they get into the playoffs and he has some success there. That's all I can hope for now. He's one of those people like you just want good things to happen for him because he was always just like a nice guy, a good dude, quiet, just a gentle giant, if you will. And he's going to be missed.
Yeah, like I think he's easily the second best receiver in franchise history, with number 1 being Rod Smith, but
Darius Watts is up there too, but
Darius Watts, Ashley Lilly, of course. How could I forget? But he's just never a guy that got the credit I think he deserved. Like, he was probably the best wide receiver in the NFL in 2014.
Yeah.
And I never ranked properly. And he always got grief from fans on Twitter because he'd drop a pass every now and then. And people remember that playoff game against the Colts where he dropped a few passes and he wasn't really involved in the offense in the playoff run in 2015. But we have to remember, like, he was probably one of the clutchest playoff performers before in his first like 3 playoff seasons. Back in 2011, obviously he had the pass or the long touchdown to beat the Steelers, and then actually had like 150 yards against the Patriots, even though they got blown out. The next year, even though they lost, he scored a late touchdown to take the lead against the Ravens. 2013, he scored a touchdown to take the lead against the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. And then obviously had one of the best Super Bowl performances of all time by a wide receiver, albeit in a very losing effort. But I never felt like he got credit for all that stuff. So
yeah, kind of an under the radar guy. I think a big problem was like he didn't play his whole career with a good quarterback.
Yeah,
you know, if Manning would have been able to stay healthy longer, I think DT's numbers would be even better. But shit, I mean, he played with Kyle Orton, Tim Tebow, Peyton Manning, Brock Osweiler, Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, Case Keenum. So, you know, that'll wear on you. And that's a ton of different offenses that he's had to learn through his career. So, yeah, I think you're right. Probably a little bit underrated as a really, really good receiver. And when your team's not doing well, that's when you focus on things like a dropped pass in a game or whatever, because you're looking at every opportunity that's basically blown. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even like the good receive. Well, this year is kind of weird because I feel like Adam Thielen, Michael Thomas, like those guys, and DeAndre Hopkins, they're getting a ton of targets and they're like catching everything that's thrown their way. But if you look at most years, like the top receivers have quite a few drops, and that's because they're targeted all the fucking time. And I think that's kind of why Demaryius maybe got a bad rap for that, and maybe just in a few critical situations when the team was coming off a Super Bowl win and turning into what we have now, which is just,
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of just how it goes. Like, he wasn't healthy for the last 2 years, I don't think.
Yeah, hip shit.
But he still played through it, and I'm always going to respect a guy for that. So, I think most Broncos fans don't have a bad word to say about Demaryius Thomas, and the ones that do, whatever, go ahead. But I think the Texans are going to like him, and I don't know. Do you think a 4th-round pick was fair compensation or?
Kinda. I
guess so.
I would have. I mean, a 3rd would have been nice. That's what it's what Golden Tate got. But at this point, honestly, Golden Tate's probably a little better than DT. He's younger, not by much. He's 30. What's DT, like 33?
No, I think DT's only 30.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's got a few years left.
Oh.
Now you want a 2nd-rounder.
Yeah, now I want a 1st and a 2nd and a 3rd, maybe a 4th. I'm not going to get greedy and say 5th, but I would take a 6th and a 7th in addition.
Yeah, we want the Ricky Williams trade, basically.
Are you surprised he was the only player traded for the Broncos?
I thought they were going to get rid of Shane Ray. I thought Shane Ray was going to the Rams, but instead they got Dante Fowler, which feels like roughly the same exact player.
Maybe. I think Dante Fowler, the biggest upside he has over Shane Ray is he's been healthier.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, he has, except for when he tore his ACL the first season in training camp or whatever.
It happens.
Didn't that happen 2 years in a row for the Jags? Their 1st-round pick tore their ACL before the season started.
Fowler tore his ACL like on the first play in like rookie minicamp.
Yeah, something like that.
Signed. I don't know who the other guy was. Not great luck, but it happens. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, there were reports floating around that Shane Ray was going to get traded. That didn't happen. I heard that the Rams weren't interested in Shane Ray, which is interesting. But the reason DT's compensation is, I think, at least somewhat fair is because you're probably going to move on from him this offseason anyway. And it's like, at least this way you get a pick for him. And that's probably going to be the same case with Shane Ray. So they had no takers. And that'll be interesting because Shaq Barrett needs a contract and Shane Ray needs a contract. I don't know if they'll even keep either. But
I mean, you get a lot of DT's money off the books, not all of it, but I think part of them taking a lower round pick for it is the Texans will pay him a little bit of what he was due back from that pre-2015 contract that turned out to be, I don't want to say harmful for the team, but like he was a little bit underperforming the money he was making, I thought.
Probably, yeah. But that's the way –
you're kind of paying him for past performance.
Yeah, that's the rookie wage scale, though. It's like you underpay them while they're probably playing their best football, and then you're going to overpay them when they're starting to decline. And it's always hard to tell with wide receivers, though. It is like they're kind of like running backs. Like once they hit 30, it's like how long are they going to, still be elite or, able to get separation with all the young defensive backs. But they usually get paid more.
It's tough unless you're Jerry Rice or Larry Fitzgerald. Usually you hit that wall around 32, 33. Yeah.
Andre Johnson played quite a long time for Houston as a really good receiver who got to play through some shitty quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine like Andre Johnson on a great football team for his career?
Oh, he'd have like 200 touchdowns. No question. Beat the fuck out of Cortland Finnegan, which I think is that's his legacy in my mind, at least.
Cortland Finnegan was a pretty shitty dude, right?
Yeah, he was a shit talker.
People hated him.
Oh, absolutely. No, to get Andre Johnson of all people to snap and just beat the fuck out of you on TV, you really have to be talking some shit.
Yeah.
So I wish I knew what he was saying to him that precipitated that fight, because I'm sure it was pretty crazy.
I would never start a fight with anybody if I were on the football field.
No, I wouldn't. Probably wouldn't start a fight with most NFL players. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe like Randy Bullock. I feel like I could take him.
Kicker?
Yeah.
I would fight a kicker too.
I'd fight a kicker.
Except for like Steve Weatherford.
Oh, he dropped me with one punch.
So jacked. That dude is so jacked.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else.
We should do a hottest kicker bods episode.
Yeah. I think it's just going to be Weatherford. And also –
you would be surprised.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of kickers with their shirts off.
Yeah, but we could get them to send pics.
So
right now –
McManus would do it?
Get on Twitter and start messaging – I mean, just a regular Twitter message, not a DM, and see how many kickers you can get to send us shirtless pics for our Hot Bod Kicker episode. If we get all 32 kickers to do it, including Janikowski, we will put together maybe a calendar even.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. All we need is 12.
And it won't be for charity. The money will go right to us.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's another guy who I think would kick my ass, Janikowski, just because I think he's been in probably 500 bar fights in his life.
Yeah, I would not.
Stretching back to Portland, or to Portland. What the fuck? Poland, Florida State, and then Oakland. Yeah.
Poland, the Portland of
Europe.
Europe. Actually, let's be honest. I think every kicker in the NFL could beat the shit out of us, Will. They're all in pretty good shape.
What about like, you say that, but like Martin Gramatica back
He's
in the
not
day?
in the NFL.
I'm not saying like when he was, though, still.
All
that dude injured himself celebrating.
Yeah.
I think
you. I injured my back bending over, dude.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm also not an NFL player, so.
Yeah.
If you couldn't
Okay.
tell.
Have you ever been in a fight?
Yeah, like a brief one in middle school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the dude like tried to headlock me, but I don't know. He's a little bitch boy. He's really skinny.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
That's a big problem.
Yeah, big problem.
All right. Who's going to win this game? Broncos, Texans. What are you looking for? Who's the guys that are the ones that are the good ones? And which are the bad guys of the ones that you don't like?
I don't like all the Texans, and I like all the Broncos. I'm just gonna say it right now. No, I'm gonna be watching Demaryius Thomas the whole game. I don't know how much they're gonna play him, just because he's learning the playbook starting on a Wednesday, pretty much, and he has to play on Sunday. But then again, like I was thinking, like the Bill O'Brien playbook can't be that tough if Ryan Mallett figured it out. So I think he can probably.
Ryan Mallett had it so figured out that he was like, I'm not even going to show up today.
Yeah, he's like, I don't need to wake up. I know all this stuff like the back of my hand.
Oh, man, that stuff was so funny. His alarm clock doesn't go off or whatever. Didn't he fall asleep at the facility too?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man, Ryan Mallett.
Bill O'Brien was changing quarterbacks like every half that season.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is that did they make it to the playoffs that year?
Yeah, that was the year that they got killed by the Chiefs.
Right. Brian Hoyer threw like 5 picks.
Correct. And they kept like trying to run J.J. Watt at the goal line and just got stuffed every fucking play because he's not a running back.
J.J. Watt.
Awesome.
On the radio here, they're trying to say that the Broncos and the Texans are like very similar teams.
Yeah, not really.
But I think the Texans are like under the radar right now because they lost the first 3 games of the season, but they've won 5 in a row. They have a really good defense. There's J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, Whitney Mercilus. They have a pretty good secondary.
Yes.
Their secondary is a lot better than the Broncos, so there's a big difference right there. Deshaun Watson finally starting to play well. He's had a slow start to the season. So maybe in that respect, like
yeah, I mean the guy tore his ACL like not even 12 months ago at the time of this recording. So
during his rookie season too.
Yeah.
So
I think he's picking it back up slowly but surely.
I think like a couple weeks ago people were looking at this game as if the Broncos, kind of have a rough go around, they could get things back on track with the Texans. Good
luck.
I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think getting Demaryius Thomas is a little bit of an advantage for the Texans. But
just in terms of talent or like knowing the Broncos defense?
Yeah, a little bit of an edge. Getting some tips, getting that little extra – that gives you just a little bit of an advantage, Will. Like, okay, how do you block Von Miller? And
you just get 3 guys.
You just
3 guys. Tackle them around the legs and hope the referees don't call it, which they usually don't.
No, unless it's Garrett Bowles.
Oh, yeah. No, every time.
He always gets called for perfect tackling.
Play him on defense.
I saw this thing about the NFL like awarded Von Miller for the tackling award. There's like this how to tackle right award.
Yeah, no, he does it about as well as anybody.
To
like
me,
him and Chris Harris.
No. Like I think it's like an award to try and promote
tackling.
Safe tackling.
No, I agree. Yeah, no, I know. I think he and Chris Harris are the best at it.
Well, I think Chris Harris is the best at form tackling. I think Von Miller's the best at not trying to hurt quarterbacks when he hits them. And that's all that award meant to me was he's not hitting quarterbacks hard enough.
Which is usually because he's going for the ball first.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So
I'll take more fumbles because most quarterbacks I don't want to see injured. And the ones that I do, I think it goes unsaid. I don't need to say it.
Yeah, most of the quarterbacks that I wish were injured usually get away and throw the ball with their offhand. But like you said, it doesn't need to be said.
Does not need to be said because that is like it's
that's just beneath us. That's beneath us.
You don't do that, Will. You
No,
don't do that.
And that's why I didn't mention any names, so no one knows who I'm talking about. But I think the Texans are going to win. I think it'll be a close-ish game. I don't know. I'm going to watch Case Keenum because there are some stories coming out about his book that he wrote over the offseason. He had a passage in there about Bill O'Brien telling him before he
molested him. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. Also, before that happened, he mentioned that he'd never be anything more than a third-string quarterback, which he is certainly not a third-string quarterback. He's a starting one. So I want to see if he can really lay it on the Texans, but it's going to be tough with J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney coming around the edge.
Yeah, I have no hope. Like the Texans are matched up to destroy one of the Broncos' biggest weaknesses, which is protecting the edges. Mm-hmm. And the reason that is being magnified and it's worse for the Broncos is because Keenum does not step into the pocket to avoid those situations.
Correct.
If it's a deep drop, he just keeps going backwards, and he doesn't feel it coming from both sides, which he should. He should just assume if he's taking a deep drop, especially on third down, he's going to get fucking wrecked by whoever Garrett Bowles is blocking there. But that's like what you see good quarterbacks do. They step up in and around it, and then they make their throws. And I think the Texans are set up to have a lot of success there. And I am running out of reasons as to try and figure out why the Broncos are losing. They ran the ball extremely well against Kansas City.
They sure did.
Almost 200 rushing yards. And,
with like 60 that were called back too.
Yeah, exactly. It's
from Philip Lindsay.
And some of those were shitty calls by the refs. Some of those were just shitty penalties. It's just like all the little things keep going wrong. And maybe that changes this week. I can easily see Keenum having a good game. I can see the running game working well again. The thing that negates those edge rushers is a nice, strong run game. Is Royce Freeman back, or is he still going to be hurt?
I don't know for sure, but I would guess that they're going to hold him out with the bye week next week just so they can get him all the way
it is
back.
A high ankle sprain, so he's probably out.
Yeah.
Sua Craven's supposed to play.
Right.
We'll see how much we get from him on defense and if he makes it through the game without getting hurt. But if he stays healthy, maybe that's a nice spark for the defense. I don't know. That secondary needs help. Bradley Roby, because we didn't really recap the game, but I thought one of the worst
Roby got torched.
players was Bradley Roby.
Yeah, I saw because before that long slant pass to Tyreek Hill that set up their second touchdown, I saw him play press coverage on Tyreek Hill, and you could just see it before the snap. It's like, this is a bad idea. This is not going to go well. If you don't jam him and push him into the earth right off the snap, he's going to be gone. And sure enough, he couldn't get his hands on him, and he was off to the races on a slant. And it didn't end up well for old Brad.
Yeah. I mean, he gives way too much cushion. I don't know, man.
Gives cushion to the players that he should press.
Yeah.
And then, this is more schematic, but – and then goes up and plays press on Tyreek Hill, the fastest man on earth.
Oh, did you get that Halloween video, Tyreek Hill's Halloween video I sent you?
No, I didn't see it.
I'm pretty sure I texted it to you, Will.
I'm fired, aren't I?
Yeah, I did text it to you.
Fuck.
It's Tyreek Hill's Halloween party on YouTube. And it's the Halloween party at his house.
You want to give us a little synopsis?
No, because I only watched a little bit, and then my wife got mad at me because I wasn't watching This Is Us. But I figure we can use it for something in the picks episode.
Correct. No, we can. Also, yeah, I think we have another Mahomes-related project coming up during the bye week that we talked about a little bit. Maybe a little something during that as well. We'll see.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay, question for you, though, before we move on to the NFL. If the Broncos lose, convincingly, do you think this is the last game for Vance Joseph with the bye week coming up?
If the Broncos lose this game, I think we will be attending Vance Joseph's funeral during the bye. I don't think the Broncos will fire him. I think they will have him killed. Soprano style.
Yeah.
If the Broncos want to be successful, they have to run their organization like the Mafia will.
Mm-hmm.
And John Elway needs to be more like Tony Soprano.
I think you should do it casino style, just car bomb.
So he needs to be more like Joe Pesci.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, I would trade Joe Pesci for John Elway as GM.
Yeah.
But it's not like
you motherfucker.
Not real life Joe Pesci. It has to be Joe Pesci in his one character. Like he can switch between like Casino, Goodfellas, and
My Cousin Vinny. It's the same character. Let's be real. It's the same guy. It's just Joe Pesci.
It's Joe Pesci. That would be cool. Of course, I don't want Vance Joseph to be killed. That is insane.
Yeah. Look, he actually survives in Casino, so
I wouldn't fire him though. I wouldn't fire him during the bye. Like, I don't think you're not going to get a good look at somebody else you want to possibly be the head coach.
Fair.
I don't think Bill Musgrave would do. I don't think having Bill Musgrave be the head coach and try to run the offense would do this team any favors. Joe Woods. I think if anybody gets fired, it's Joe Woods. I don't know. I don't know what the Browns are fucking doing by letting go of Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley.
Well, if you're going to do it, like the Hugh Jackson thing is dumb because you might as well have just done it before the season. If you're going to fire him after like a 2-5-1 start.
To me, it makes no sense at all to fire your coach halfway through the season unless your plan is to like, let's try to lose more games. Let's just try to get best draft. If you want to go that route, then you do it. But I just don't know what you have to gain by doing it. And I don't know. You're going to pay him even if you fire him. So just make him work. Make him work for that money. And it's not like, look, Vance Joseph's not a good head coach. But he's also, I think, for the most part, like, I think the players like him. You know what I mean? It's not like the players hate playing for this guy. Like you're losing everybody by keeping him around for the season.
Yeah, he's not a good coach, but he's also not Josh McDaniels, where he's just
or Todd Haley,
the organization.
Apparently, Todd Haley.
Both two great examples of that.
Todd Haley, I think, is probably one of the biggest douches in the coaching world right now. Like we saw it firsthand on Hard Knocks. Maybe the only one bigger is Greg Williams, and now he's the head coach. Yeah. But like.
He is the biggest hard ass. He is the biggest hard ass in the NFL. Like all I saw when we watched that Rams All or Nothing from 2016, the year they sucked. Greg Williams was the DC there. It's like, wow, this guy's a fucking dick. Yeah. All he does is just yell at people. It's like no, like that's not. This is like how you treat like a high school team. It's like a high school coach, like coaching professional football players.
Right, and we're like evolving beyond that point where.
Yeah. It's like the age of player coaches and like Pete Carroll and
yeah, it's like, hey, we're all people here. We know when we fuck up.
Yeah, instead he's like, sit your fucking ass down. Don't say another word. He's like the gym coach from Beavis and Butthead, Mr. Buzzcut or whatever. Just yell at him. Is like his only voice is just a yelling voice.
Exactly. Like I feel like Hugh Jackson when he like, because he was a part of those guys being hired. I think he was just like, I want to bring in the guys that are the exact opposite of me. Just insane, mean, dumb, bringing those guys in because maybe that's what this team needs. I'm a little too nice, a little too friendly, a little too understanding, but quietly stubborn. Let me bring those guys in, and it'll work out. And
sure enough, it worked out. For 4 weeks, it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess after this bye week, then lots of coaches could maybe get fired after, or 2, who knows, or 0. It's hard.
Probably. To say. I don't know. I mean, the Giants aren't going to cut bait with Pat Shurmur yet. I don't think.
No, not after one season. Is there anybody that would be who would have a better chance of getting fired than Vance Joseph the second half of this season?
No, because I just think like some of the bad coaches are just first-year coaches like Steve Wilkes. I don't know if he's going to make it, even though the Cardinals won last week.
They beat the Niners. They beat Shanahan's Niners.
Yeah, and you think about it, like, when do the excuses run out for Kyle Shanahan, too?
Right. No, I was wondering that, too. Like,
because, like, I know you don't have Jimmy Garoppolo, but you still should probably beat the Cardinals, and you should have more than one win at this point of the season.
There's that. You've got Dirk Cutter with the Bucks. Like,
Yep.
But they fired their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, so he's got the heat off of him for a little bit.
Right, and they got a win after that. But then Jameis Winston comes out and throws 4 picks. And the best story of the whole fucking week is Ryan Fitzpatrick comes back into the game, throws 2 touchdowns, I believe, to get him back in, a 2-point conversion to tie up the game, and then the defense just lets Andy Dalton throw down their throats and kick the game-winning field goal. But FitzMagic is starting this week. He is my favorite shitty but also awesome quarterback, and I am so happy he's back in, starting ahead of the fucking rapist Jameis Winston. And somebody in, I think, the picks episode were like, why do you hate Jameis Winston? He's a good quarterback. You always shit on him. And I am so happy he threw 4 interceptions. I just don't like shitty people being put on a fucking stage. And I am 99% sure he's a shitty dude. So
all I can think about now is Joe Pesci being the Broncos GM. Like, what the fuck? You want a 4th round pick for Demaryius Thomas? Go fuck yourself.
He's kind of like that was kind of a Boston-y Joe Pesci.
Yeah, I was like if Joe Pesci was in The Departed.
Yeah.
I love my favorite scene in Goodfellas is just the scene where De Niro gets the call at the payphone after they whack Joe Pesci. And he's like, yeah, what do you got for me? He's like, I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do. And he just slams the phone. Sorry, there's nothing we can do. From the guys who killed him. It's like, yeah, we lost him. We accidentally shot him in the back of the head. I'm sorry. He didn't make it.
Yeah, and then I like when they meet out in the middle of the desert.
That is Casino, yep.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm thinking Casino.
It's the same movie, basically.
No, yeah, you're right. That's just
Goodfellas Part 2.
It's like you watch Goodfellas and then you just start Casino right after it. Just go right into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's just a continuation.
You just assume like through Casino that Ray Liotta's not in it because he's just in witness protection somewhere. And then the storylines just line up completely.
Mm-hmm.
Or does he die in Goodfellas? I can't remember.
Henry Hill?
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta? No, he goes in the witness protection.
Does he? Okay.
Karen, how was all the cocaine we had, Karen? Karen. Okay. Enough of that. Let's get to the other trades really quick.
Biggest impact trade of the week, I think you'll agree with me, is Ty Montgomery going to the Ravens. I think just boosts their team more than any of the other guys traded.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. Considering, I don't know, he had like 150 yards at this point.
Oh, and one costly fumble. Will you just rag on him for his fumble?
I don't know. I thought the Ravens
third on the depth chart.
A little bit, yeah.
A third-string running back in Green Bay is a 1,000-yard rusher for the Ravens.
Well, we got to see, like, if they let Ty Montgomery wear 88 with the Ravens, but Demaryius Thomas isn't allowed to wear 88, I'm going to be pissed. That's not going to be cool.
Why can't the Ravens run the ball very well?
I think Marshall Yonda's been hurt, and so is Ronnie Stanley.
Offensive line problems?
Yeah. Also, Joe Flacco kind of sucks.
Somebody asked me if I would be happy if the Broncos got Joe Flacco this offseason.
No. Not really. I'd take, like, I don't know. Who would you take? Joe
Flacco or Case Keenum?
No. I was going to say Joe Flacco or Derek Carr.
Oh.
So I'd take Derek Carr.
Yeah. So I think the better question is, do you take Joe Flacco or Case Keenum? That's a tougher decision.
Jesus. I don't know. I guess it'd be interesting to see Joe Flacco somewhere else, but I don't think he'd necessarily be better anywhere else but Baltimore.
I would take Derek Carr. I mean,
I would take Derek Carr probably over all 3 of them.
I feel like we already talked about it because I think Bill Musgrave and Derek Carr had good chemistry. I don't know. It's Oakland's a whole like.
I think Derek Carr, like, it'd be a great what if, just like what if Derek Carr never broke his leg against the Colts?
That is a good what if.
Yeah, because they could have won the next week against the Broncos. Because remember, the Broncos are playing Matt McGloin and Connor Cook that week. And they would have had –
oh, that's right.
They probably would have won the division, I think, depending on how their tiebreakers worked out with Kansas City. So I don't know. That would have been interesting.
They were a hot team that year. That offense was pretty good.
And he's just never been the same quarterback since then. He just hasn't had a lot of confidence in the pocket. Although he has like brief flashes of being really, really good like he did against the Colts last week.
For the first 3.5 quarters until the Colts. I think the Colts scored like – did they score 21 points in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, they had just a ridiculous touchdown streak that was unanswered. Just luck to Ebron and Mo Cox, our boy.
Mo Cox. We did a lot of Mo Cox jokes in the recap episode, and there will be more to come. There was a lot of I haven't put it together yet, but there was a lot of dirty NFL announcer talk through the weekend when I was
I saw like the balls thing from the Seahawks-Lions game.
Yeah, there's balls down your throat. The one guy accidentally says sex instead of success, and I found another one.
Freudian.
Yeah. I think NFL announcers shouldn't be allowed to use the word penetrate anymore.
Yeah, no, it's just how do you not think of I don't know. How do you not think of sex when you hear that word?
Yeah, nobody ever says the word penetrate in like day-to-day
normal conversation.
And it's not about sex.
Yeah, it's just like let me penetrate this box of Cheez-Its with my hand and grab a few.
Nobody even says penetrate during sex.
No, the only time you hear
ready for
penetration
me to penetrate you?
Yeah.
I can't think of like a less sexy thing to say at any point.
The only time you hear it is when it's a double.
Yeah, and that's a title. It's like a classification of what you're going to watch.
Yeah, no, it's like the scientific scientific word for being boned in two spots.
Yeah.
We just we'll start a petition to ban it from all NFL broadcasts.
No more penetration. No more penetration.
We're the first anti-penetration podcast.
What game are you coming to, Will?
The Browns one.
Broncos-Browns. I'm going to make you some no more penetration signs.
You know what my dream's been? And I think I'm going to miss out on it this year because I thought the dates would sync up just because the Star Wars movie comes out like every winter around the same time now, and it's always a Thursday night that people go see it. So you have the Thursday night game before. My dream is to just like run out onto the field with a sign that spoils the end of the movie and get shown on TV. Like for The Force Awakens. I can't remember what the game was, but just like run out there with a sign that says Han Solo dies and then get captured, get tackled by the police and taken to jail. And tell everybody how it's all worth it.
That would be a classic move. It would be remembered for years. People remember that guy who ran on the field and spoiled the ending of Star Wars for everyone?
He's a hero. He's been in jail for the last 30 years, but he is a hero.
How many football fans do you think are also Star Wars fans?
I think you'd be surprised.
I wouldn't, because I think pop culture and football fans, like there's a big overlap.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think the perception of people who like football, and there are a lot of people who still, it's like they're only into sports. It's more sports people. It's the people who only watch sports for entertainment. Like, I watch football, but the reason I don't watch basketball and hockey and baseball all the time is because I want to watch other shit during the week.
Yeah. Well, see, I have time. I watch all the sports. I watch football first. And then basketball and baseball are kind of a tie for me. And then like I watch TV and movies, but I also don't have a girlfriend, so
Yeah.
it all
Or
evens
a real
out.
job. You work,
Yeah,
you
it's
do
true.
this.
Basically. So, well, I mean, watching sports is my job, so
Yeah,
technically.
it is your job.
Correct.
And you're very good at it. Except for sometimes when you're not.
Yep.
Other trades, Golden Tate. Golden Tate goes to
the Eagles.
Eagles, that's right. That's a good fit.
I agree.
Eagles, I don't know what – I mean, they beat Jacksonville.
They sure did. I think they still have a shot at the division.
Yeah.
I don't think Washington's necessarily – I feel like Washington, like their players are just so old. They're just going to get tired around like week 12.
Yeah, they're going to – well, a lot of them are going to have to be in Florida by that time.
Yeah. No, yeah, they prefer the humidity. Vernon Davis is just going to be like, my back hurts.
I am going to my community in Florida with the Seinfelds.
Yeah, Marty Seinfeld.
And the Jags, I mean, we didn't touch on this, but technically 3 of their players were arrested. 4 were detained about a discrepancy over a $64,000 bar tab at a London burlesque club-ish, something like that.
Interesting. I didn't know the burlesque club part, but I was trying to do the dollars to pounds conversion in my head, and I just twisted my mind into a pretzel even just thinking about it. I can't remember if it's more or less or like how that works. But
and it was like the only like big name was Barry Church.
Yeah, he had Barry Church, like DJ Hayden, who was the former first-round pick by the Raiders.
Yeah. So Hayden's made some money.
Yeah. I just don't know how, like, I know, like, you can get bottle service that costs, like, thousands of dollars, and I guess if you do that a few times, you can rack up something. But I can't imagine compiling a bar tab that gets to $64,000 in one night.
No. And then
I've had some bad nights where I spent too much at a bar, but it's never gotten that high.
No, it's like you're like, I spent $140 last night.
Yeah. It's like, oh shit, I bought like 2 people drinks and now my Wells Fargo account's at like 20. Like, fuck.
Why did I buy everybody drinks?
Yeah. And I guess if it made it to 64,000, you might as well dispute it. Although
a bottle of Grey Goose for everyone.
What's nice is in the UK, in most parts of Europe, you don't have to tip as well.
Oh.
So they're not even factoring in tips.
Yeah, so it's basically free to drink out there, which makes it even harder.
Exactly.
4,000.
Yeah. Saving like 20% every time.
Then we got Dante Fowler to the Rams. I think that's good.
About that.
We talked about that.
No, that was like the one position of weakness on their defense is they didn't really have a great edge rusher. Corey Littleton's turning out to be a really good linebacker, but
yeah, that guy's really good, and that was like the area that looked like it might be the weakest part for them was their linebackers. But dude, that guy is a playmaker. I credit a little bit of that to Wade Phillips, just knowing how to use his guys. And I think Dante Fowler coming in, if they get an edge rush on top of what they already have on that defensive line,
terrifying.
They should, yeah. I mean, they're still winning games. They're not perfect, but I think they are the best team in the NFL right now. And let's just start our pick segment by talking about the Rams and Saints. I know it's going to throw your order off, but that's the game of the week. That is the game of the week, Will.
Really? I still think Packers and Patriots is the game of the week.
No.
I think Chargers at Seahawks is the game of the week.
Oh, I mean, I think that'll be a good game.
That's actually a pretty good game. I don't think it's the game of the week, though. Yeah, Rams at Saints. I don't know. It's hard to pick. If this was in Los Angeles, I'd say overwhelmingly I'd take the Rams. But the Saints just play so well indoors.
Oh, yeah.
Not that the Rams can't, too, because they're a similar offense, but
kind of weird.
I just see the Saints do it all the time.
Kind of weird. A guy with the last name Breeze only plays good inside.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Please explain.
Because he can't handle a breeze.
That's funny.
Oh, well. This is why people listen. Wordplay.
Breeze. Oh, because it's like wind.
Yeah. Let's not act like you're above it, Will. You write in at least 5 of those every week.
Yeah. Nope, the shittiest jokes. You can pin them all on me.
I think you're trying to destroy me.
From the inside.
You're getting me to trust you, and then I won't know whether a joke's good or not, and I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, no, pretty soon I'm gonna write on an episode, "Fuck you, San Diego," and you just look at the teleprompter and say whatever. So you're gonna say it too.
There we go. You know what?
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
You know how I know? Like, because if anybody doesn't know, Will helps me write the picks episode every week and the recap of all the games. And then this week he helped with like the Demaryius Thomas one a little bit. And somebody in the comments was like, how do I know if it's a joke you wrote or one that Will wrote? Well, first of all, does it fucking matter?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good sign, though, that, you know, Will and I are on the same page.
It's like, Brandon didn't write that. Yeah. I'm not going to laugh.
Usually, and how it works is, like, the picks episode, most of that is Will getting the meat of it done. But then, like, the way writing kind of works there is, you know, sometimes Will has an idea that sparks something that I'll put in on top of it, or I'll write something down and then Will runs with an idea there. And really it's so much – I enjoy the scripts that we write together so much more than like the ones I just bang out on my own because, one, they're better. Usually the jokes are funnier. But also it's like it's the collaboration makes the creativity kind of – it like sparks ideas other than trying to always think of something yourself. Even if it's not like a joke that you put down, even if it's just like a reference to – a historical football thing. Like, oh yeah, well, we can make fun of that, you know, with this. So if that one guy is listening, which I'm sure he's not, I answered his question.
Yeah, the answer is you'll never be able to tell. So stop asking.
You'll never know. Who are you going to pick, though, Saints or Rams?
Oh, shit. I don't know. How can I pick against the Rams at this point, even though it goes against everything I just said?
Yeah. I'm going to pick the Saints at home. Because I don't think the Rams are going to go undefeated. And if they each have one loss, I think that's more interesting.
Yeah.
And I think the Rams would have lost last week if Ty Montgomery doesn't fumble the fucking kickoff and gives Aaron Rodgers a chance Aaron Rodgers had over a minute left to get a win. And Mason Crosby was kicking well that day. So we'll see. But maybe Dante Fowler is just too much. He's just too much to handle.
Yeah, if he just like turns out to be the player that Jacksonville thought he was going to be when they took him out of Florida with like the 3rd pick, we might just cancel the season at this point.
Yeah. Well, he had 8 sacks last year in a reserve role. So
yeah, like he's pretty good already. He's not a bad player. It's just like if he even like steps it up a little bit, it's like, I don't know, maybe he's got Donald and Sue on the outside. He's going to be like – I don't know, he might have like a tight end blocking him every play. You just end up with like 9 sacks in the last 9 games. Who knows?
I think the Rams are like my second favorite team this season.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of waiting for a reason not to like the Rams, and I just can't do it.
Can't do it. You like Sean McVay. I'm rooting for Wade Phillips. I wish Talib didn't get hurt because, you know, but he'll be back. Once the Rams get him back too,
it's going to be tough. I mean, I don't really care too much for Marcus Peters or Ndamukong Suh, but I don't know. I feel like Jared Goff's a pretty cool guy. Cancels it all out.
Yeah, he's not like Jared Goff is. He's not likable, but he's not hateable. He's just a guy. That's just Jared.
I heard a story back when he was at Cal that he just showed up at a party and just kind of stood around and then just like walked up to like the most attractive girl at the party and was like, "Hey, I'm Jared Goff. You want to come home with me?" She was like, "Sure." So it's pretty nice to be a good quarterback.
I always like pray that that all the quarterbacks are just gay.
Just Yeah, to give like the normal guys a chance.
Yeah, because I'm just always, it's just like it threatens my masculinity knowing like they could get laid whenever they want.
Well, this is why I like guys like Case Keenum because they always get married like their freshman year of college.
Yeah, give me either a gay quarterback or super like religious
Extremely
quarterback.
Christian, yeah.
Yeah, or just Kirk Cousins who never cheats on his wife. Right?
No, he would never cheat on his wife. I don't even know why you brought it up.
Yeah.
That's an old callback. Okay, so let's start from the top here. This is maybe the worst Thursday night football game ever, but they still have to play it. Hopefully there's an earthquake. Raiders at 49ers. I can say it because I live there. I can say it. Raiders at 49ers. Two wins combined between these teams.
That is a bad game. Dude, I feel like the California teams are hardly having to travel at all this season.
Yeah, I feel like because the West is playing the West. The Chargers were playing in California for like the first 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, that's true. Fudge. I'll take the 49ers just because I like to see the Raiders keep losing.
Yeah, I feel like last week was the best chance for the Raiders to win in however long it's been. And I think they used it up and didn't get the win. So I'm going to take the 49ers as well.
Yeah, I just don't think the Raiders can handle that trip from Oakland to wherever the fuck the 49ers play.
Santa Clara.
Yeah. It's a long
Santa Clara
drive.
is really out of the way, actually.
I know. I've been to Levi Stadium.
Have you?
Yeah.
So, not for the Super Bowl, though.
I was there for the Super Bowl.
Were you really?
Yeah. Super Bowl 50.
I was there.
I was
there that weekend.
I wasn't in the stadium. I got to the stadium. Vic Lombardi was supposed to give me a pass, but he couldn't. And so I watched the Super Bowl in a Bennigan's parking lot and then went back to Levi Stadium, got into the stadium after the game, and edited videos.
Pretty good. I was at Super Bowl City all weekend, but I went home. I went home to watch the game.
There you go. Smart.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you then.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
My life was a lot richer.
Yeah, no, you're much poorer for having known me.
Okay, let's bust through these. I think we're running long.
Yeah, let's penetrate this list here. Steelers at Ravens. These teams, I'll say it again, these two teams don't like each other.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are favored, but I'm gonna pick the Steelers, I guess.
Yeah, Steelers are hot. I'm gonna take them.
So hot right now.
So hot. Bears at Bills.
Oh, Bears. Although the Bills defense not bad.
Played pretty tough. I feel like they only get a Monday night game at home like once every 5 years, so I feel like they had to play to the occasion.
Yeah, their defense looked great, and they had no offense. I think Nathan Peterman will be starting because
awesome.
Derek Anderson got hurt, but who knows?
What happens first? Nathan Peterman breaks the interception record, or Tom Brady breaks the touchdown record?
Which touchdown record?
All time.
Peterman.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with Peterman too. Bucks at Panthers.
Panthers.
Yeah, this one feels. Oh, no.
Ryan FitzMagic.
Would have been an easy pick if Jameis Winston was starting. Now all of a sudden you could just get 50 points out of FitzMagic. You could get 50 points. You could also get 3 points.
Who's at home? Panther. Yeah, I'll stick with the Panthers.
Fuck it. I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
Ooh, I like it.
I feel like we're all at that point where we're just everybody's like, oh, the Panthers are actually a good team. They're actually good.
And now
just like something like this happens. I still think they're a good team, though. Chiefs at Browns. Chiefs. Yeah, pretty easy. Okay, Jets at Dolphins.
How they prepare for a Greg Williams coach team, though?
I don't know.
I mean, if I were the Chiefs, I'd be scared Greg Williams is going to yell at me, you know?
Yeah, no, seriously. Okay, wow.
Jets at Dolphins, did you say?
Yeah, Jets Dolphins.
Give me the Jets.
Fuck, is Ryan Tannehill ever coming back, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I'm just going to assume for the purposes of this exercise that it's Brock. And Brocktober will be over by then. It's going to be Brockvember, which nearly as successful.
Give me the Dolphins.
All right, I'm going to take the Jets.
They're at home.
Yeah. Lions at Vikings.
Man, I would like to pick the Lions, but without Golden Tate, how are they going to win? Vikings to bounce back after losing.
Yeah, I'm going to take them too. Also, quick question. Are the Vikings really better off with Kirk Cousins? Versus, like, even if they had kept Keenum or Bridgewater?
Maybe. I think they are. I think he's playing pretty good football. Like, even his interception, that was a pick six against the Saints, it was like Stephon Diggs stopped running that route. Like he was going to turn up field or something. So it's not like it was just like an egregious error, but I don't know. I think he's playing decent. I think he's playing pretty good. I think their problems are not really having a consistent run game. It's been better recently, and the defense isn't quite as dominant as it was last season. But what do I know?
That's fair.
I just have a podcast.
True. So you're not really qualified to talk about any of this.
You think differently?
Well, as you know, I have a PhD in football, so my opinion actually counts. I don't know if it's worth the price because he's getting like $30 million. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
We'll see. I
guess we can be watching for Adam Thielen to break the record. He tied Calvin Johnson for 8 100-yard receiving games, so could go for 9.
He could do it. I think he's got to be a top 3 wide receiver at this point, right?
Yeah, I think the best 3 receivers in the NFL right now are Adam Thielen, DeAndre Hopkins, and Michael Thomas.
Not Antonio Brown?
Or Julio.
No, well, Julio's got to score a touchdown first.
Julio's got to score, bruh.
Yeah, he's not going to score. Falcons at Redskins. Does he score this week?
You picked him to score last week, so I'll be the guy who says he scores a touchdown this week.
Is that enough to beat the Redskins in Washington?
Yeah. I think the Redskins are one of those teams that are pretty good, but then they're just going to drop a game for no reason because they're not.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta as well. They got to get Devontae Freeman back at some point, right?
No, he's on IR.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
I feel stupid.
I think he might be able to come back, but they just put him on there. They got Ito Smith and Tevin Coleman, still pretty good. But also, I guess that Washington added Clinton Dix, we didn't mention.
Yep.
And DJ Swearinger is playing really good safety football, which I don't like because I don't like DJ Swearinger. But Clinton Dix and DJ Swearinger, pretty good safety tandem. So I should pick Washington to win, but I'm going to stick with the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about earlier in the show about like how Cortland Finnegan must have been a huge asshole to get Andre Johnson to beat him up. But you have to be such a dickhead to get Peyton Manning to have a taunting penalty.
Yeah.
in the preseason against you.
Yeah.
Not great.
Classic. One of Peyton's finest moments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite. Chargers at Seahawks.
Man, Seahawks are starting to look good.
They sure are.
Defense is playing really good football. Bradley McDougald is like one of the best safeties in the game. Russell Wilson in the run game's working.
They suddenly just got a lot better after Earl Thomas left, basically. Or not left, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
He was the last poison in the locker room. Fudge. Do the Chargers have Bosa yet?
No.
I'll go with Seattle then, I guess.
What do you think about Nick Bosa, his brother, just like he stopped playing this season just to get ready for the draft?
I'd probably do the same.
For an Ohio State team that has 1 loss and could win the national championship.
Yeah, money's more important than fucking college football.
Fair. You can do both, I feel like, but I don't know.
It's worked that way for years.
Yeah.
And he's good enough where even if he got hurt, he would still get drafted, but not as high, and he would lose millions of dollars if he does get hurt. So he can do it because his brother's so fucking good too.
Yeah, no, that definitely helps.
No, that helps big time.
Yeah, it's like the reverse situation with David and Derek Carr.
Yeah.
That's the only reason Derek Carr fell. Let's see, where were we? We already did Rams at Saints.
Carr boys.
That Carr gang up there. Packers at Patriots.
Oh, your game of the week.
My game of the week.
Patriots are at home. Did you see Skip Bayless's tweet?
About the Michael Jordan promo?
No.
Oh, because there's that Michael Jordan promo for this game. There's like talking about like we're finally going to decide the GOAT debate. And you're like, oh, is he going to talk about LeBron and him? It's like, nope. Talking about Rodgers and Brady.
Oh, maybe. Maybe that's what it was in reference to, because he was saying something like there's only 112 is GOAT, and you can't even talk about Aaron Rodgers in the same sentence as Tom Brady or some shit.
I thought I was going to say like Bob Greasy.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it was stupid because Aaron Rodgers is
much better.
He is actually a better quarterback than Tom Brady right now.
Hot take. One quarterback doesn't throw the ball 15 yards down the field, and the other just throws the ball from any point on the field to any other point on the field consistently. Yeah. So,
yeah, I don't know why Tom Brady was getting credit for beating the Bills, because it was basically fucking Derek Anderson beat the Bills. I'll go with the Packers in spirit of, fuck Tom Brady.
I'm taking the Packers too. Aaron Rodgers beat him last time. Ooh. I think, yeah. What are the Packers? 3-3-1 right now? I think they're going to right the ship.
Something. And they were competitive against the Rams. I think the Rams' offense is better than the Patriots right now. So
yeah, no, I think they played the Rams about as well as any team has this year.
Yeah, next to the Broncos,
Yeah, really. I mean, honestly, it might be. So yeah, we've both got the Packers. Last game. I know we've all been waiting for it. It's a primetime game at home for the Cowboys.
Christ. Is that a Sunday night game or is that Monday?
Monday.
So they couldn't flex it.
Yeah, I know they probably tried to get like Giants Cowboys at this game instead. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, they can only play twice a year. Well, it'll have to be the Titans.
Yeah, but these are our primetime teams. Giants Cowboys. This is America's battle versus America's battle. Fuck. I'm gonna pick the Titans, I guess.
Yeah. Fuck.
Based on a feeling.
Mm-hmm. That's not the Vikings. I was gonna, I don't want to keep picking every same team as you because that's what I've done for the last 4 games, but I think the Titans are gonna win too.
There we go.
All right. Do you want to close this show out by talking about, I don't know if you prepared any last-minute NFL costume ideas?
I didn't, but you can give us yours.
Okay. So this
I was
one
at the store when you texted me, and then I had to get my sliders started, and I just didn't have time.
Time to think?
Yeah, I didn't.
Dunce. All right. So my first one, all you need. This will be a good one for either Broncos or Bears fans.
It's last minute NFL costumes.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah, if you're just like running out of the trying to run out of the house, you need a costume really quick, provided that you have a few materials. So get a Jay Cutler jersey, and you get precisely 1 cigarette, put it in your mouth, smoking Jay.
Okay, not bad.
Number 2, pretty simple. All you need, 1 walking boot, put it on your foot. You're Ben Roethlisberger at a press conference. Third and final, last-minute NFL Halloween costume. Fake beard or real beard if you have one. Maybe a little boot polish. Get it dark. Get a T-shirt and a suit jacket over that T-shirt, and you're Brandon Perna.
Oh, psych.
Gotcha.
Somebody did go as me for Halloween once. That's when I felt like, wow, people like this show.
Yeah, not bad. Well, if they weren't like, I mean, it's one of those costumes. Like, I kind of like the costumes where everybody says like, "Oh, you're a dick" if you just like have some really obscure reference as your costume. But like, I like it when like 1 or 2 or 3 people get it and they like really get it because
they're into
then it's like a little more meaningful. Yeah, because like if somebody saw like someone in a T-shirt, like a That's Good Sports T-shirt, and a suit jacket, and a beard, I was like, oh, you're Brandon Perna. You know, that'd make it all worth it.
Yeah, that really boosted my ego.
It should have. It should have.
I was unbearable for 24 hours after that. So this will go up the day after Halloween. Are you getting in costume later, Will?
I don't know. I might, because I still have the old Broncos Jay Cutler jersey somewhere laying around.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I don't remember what size it is. I remember it being big on me back when I first got it, which was when I was about 11. So might be a tough call,
but be tight now. Who knows?
Might be a little bit. Then I'll just have to procure exactly one cigarette, which I don't know. If I just go to the gas station and ask for one cigarette, I'm sure they'll be happy to give me one.
Could you sell me one cigarette?
Just one, just one, sir.
Just say it weird.
With the filter, please.
And they'll just give you one. Could I just have one cigarette, sir?
We will give you one if you leave.
Yeah, sir. We're gonna have security escort you out of here. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a good Halloween, even though it's not Halloween yet.
Yep.
Will, you did a good job. You can follow him on Twitter at WillKeys6. It's on the screen for the whole episode. Again, if you haven't gone to iTunes or Podbean, you can listen to it like real big guy podcasts. And that's it for football.